Thank you very much, Mr. Byron. And he did say brief, so I'll be very brief and make sure that I get up after I speak and leave some space for the Honorable Patrice Nisbet, who will also come up to make a presentation. I want to say to you, good evening to all of you who are here with us, and those persons who will hear this later, whether on Channel 8 or on the radio stations. And I want to give you a practical example of the difference between the Nevis Reformation Party and the way that this cabal of CCM operate. When we were in office and I had the charge of the Ministry of Communications and Works, one of the two cell phone companies made a proposal to us to have a cell site at Jessop's, right by the Jessop's playing field. And I didn't even take the matter to cabinet as a submission. I mentioned it in the cabinet meeting, and I said to them, this thing is not going any further because it is too close to the residents who live right in the proximity of the ball ground. And so I just mentioned it, and I said to them, Digicel will continue to have discussions with the ministry, but we will suggest that they go elsewhere. If you go by the playing field in Jessop's now, you will notice that there is no cell tower because the Nevis Reformation Party did not allow that to proceed. We did not even say to them we are going to have discussions with the people in Jessop's. We said it is wrong. You will find someplace else to put it, and they found someplace else to put it. What is the difference between them, the CCM, and us? The junior minister in the Ministry of Communications is Troy Liebert. I am told that the land on which the cell tower will go is owned by his family. The junior minister is responsible for communications and works, which he is also responsible for physical planning. So could you imagine a conversation between the junior minister and the Ministry of Communications and Planning and his father? Maybe the son, Da, would have said, you know, I can rent this piece of land. Somebody will pay me good money to put up a cell tower. All you have to approve it, eh? And the son would say to his Da, I am in charge of planning. I will tell them they have to pass it. We have no information that he recused himself. How could the junior minister responsible for physical planning just have this approved under his watch, knowing that the cell tower would benefit his father? That would not happen under the Nevis Reformation Party. The Honorable Joseph Parry would have said that cannot happen. But that is exactly what is happening. And the people of this area must say, listen, this is not good for us. It is not good for the community. And you are going to have to protest. In St. Kitts, a cell tower was put up in an area by one of the companies. Was erected. And the people in the area said, no, you didn't have consultation with us. This will affect our health. And they had to remove it. So it doesn't matter whether or not they have started here in Coal Hill. You must demonstrate that you are angry about this infringement on your health. And you must stop it. We are going to facilitate you. This is why we are here this evening, to have this meeting so that you could understand what is happening. We are not against people making money. But we are not for people making money at the risk of your health. That is bad. And you must stand up against anything that is bad. And having said that, I am so pleased to see in the audience tonight some people who participated in that wonderful march that we had in Charlestown. The women of Nevis came out against victimization. They came out against the tyrannical rule of this Vance Amri-led government. And the women of the Nevis Reformation Party and the women of Nevis, you have set a standard which you are going to find hard to follow. You're going to have to keep that high standard. and protest every time you see wrong. And it is not difficult to see wrong in this country. Could you imagine that after the march, rather than lying low, the premier of the country, Vance Amri, went out and chastised, well, chastise is too nice a word, cuss out Andrea Busso. And even as I call her name, Vance Amri, said that she was not qualified for the job that she was doing. That she didn't pass when they did the review. But guess what? Today, she is Dr. Andrea Busso. Graduated with a PhD, a doctorate. But Vance said she was not good enough to be responsible for special ed in this country. And she was a hanger-on with the mouth in the trough. Well, she lucky. She might be outside the trough with the mouth in the trough. Vance Amri has had his whole body in the trough since 1987. He has been living in the trough. And he does not care what he does to Nevis. So when I heard him in Charlestown on Saturday night speaking about Brownhill Communications, Vance said he brought them to Nevis, you know. Vance said that he brought Brownhill Communications to Nevis. He said it was clear water. Well, I didn't know that we had a clear water in Nevis. You see, when you tell lies, you have to have a good memory. Vance is a pathological liar. And worse than that, the man is sick. He has maybe it's a brain sickness. I said to you, my people, he actually brought Clear Harbor to Nevis. And look how they brought Clear Harbor. The Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation had to pay about $2 million for Clear Harbor to come to Nevis. They had to fix up the old building up there at Brownhill by the clinic. They bought all the computers. They had to pay to refurbish the entire building, a whole ton of money. And by the time we got into office, there were 5 people working up there. They had not paid their water bill, their electricity bill, and they owed businesses in town. They had not paid their phone bill. How can you do a business as a call center when you don't pay your phone bill? You don't pay your internet bill. Well, who will you call? Who will call you? You know what? The cabinet of the Nevis Reformation Party took a decision that we would get them out. Mr. Parry and his team sourced a new company, but we had to get out the people first. But guess what? That was when the Honorable Patrice Nisbet was still the legal advisor to the government of Nevis. He had to get the matter to court. Give him a hand, he won the case. Patrice Nisbet won the case for Nevis. And after he won the case, Mark Brantley was still vexed because Daniel Brantley and Associates represented clear water. The dirty water, clear water, Mark Brantley and his company represented them in court. But we won. Patrice beat up Mark Brantley, won the case. And so the 5 people who were working there, I don't know if they got employment with Brownhill Communications. But when I heard the name, I said these people mean business. They had replaced Clear Harbor and took the name of the community in which they were serving, Brownhill Communications. Today, I am told they have more than 150 people working over there. But Vance Amri said he brought them. But give him the credit. Let us say that he brought them, because he also said that we forced Newfound to leave Nevis. Newfound had a sweetheart deal. Vance Amri and his team went to Nova Scotia in Canada. Some people from Newfound gave them a lift in a helicopter. I don't know if they had ever been up in a helicopter. But when they came down from the helicopter ride, they got 600 acres of some of the best lands in Nevis. And guess what? Before they had paid off for the land, they had the title. CCM gave them the title for the land, even though they had not paid off. Well, I wish I could do business with CCM and they give me title before I pay off. Because they bought 600 acres and if they had sold 50 acres of the land, according to the maths of real estate agent Edric Stanley, they would have paid for the whole 600 acres. So they practically got 550 acres free. But they were bankrupt. People didn't have any money. Totally bankrupt. So by the time we got into office, they couldn't move. They were happy to sell the land to somebody else. But this senile, half-crazy man that we have leading the country, this Van Samri, he said when he got into office, first order of business, he was going to get Newfound to build a 150-room hotel. He didn't even realize that they had gone out of business. He didn't know they had sold the lands. And on Saturday night, he's still talking about Newfound. He said, we ran Newfound. We ran Newfound from Nevis. Well, nothing is further from the truth. Van Samri is away. His 5th trip to London for the year. His 16th overseas trip for the year. And guess what? He's going to make 20 this year. Because Vance is restless. When he's home, people ask him about the 10 acres and how come the 4 million was sent to the account of a company owned by he and his wife. He don't want anybody ask him that. But we are going to speak about it. When Van Samri is home, especially at the end of the month, public servants want to know if they will be paid on time. Everybody who works for government knows us now. Thursday is payday. Van Samri has gone. Will public servants be paid on Thursday? That is a big question. I am told that just before he left, he wrote a letter to the Prime Minister asking him to facilitate payment of salaries and pensions this month. But last month, that Baramouth fella said that they didn't ask for any money. They didn't want any money. And guess what? You know that when Dr. Douglas went to Parliament, you know they had offered to reduce the overdraft by 15 million? If they had accepted the 15 million, they could have paid salaries this month and next month and the next month. But it gets worse than that, you know. I want you to understand that because the CCM government in Nevis has stopped pooling the VAT money. Remember when they were campaigning, they said they want 100% of the VAT money collected in Nevis. So they collect all the money. The money used to go into an account at National Bank. They said no. So since April, they have not put in a cent. They are putting the money in another bank. But guess what? Marcella Liebert said this morning that we are losing between $1 million and $1.5 million in VAT money. Because in all the time since 2010 that we have been collecting VAT, Nevis has not put in 24% for 5 months. 5 months, almost 4 years, 48 months. And we have not met our 24% 5 times. So Synkits used to send to us in Nevis approximately $18 million a year for VAT money. But it gets worse than that, you know. I want you to do it over the life of the CCM government. Nevis will lose $90 million because of stupidity. We will lose $90 million in VAT money because the hard-headed CCM people, headed by Vance Amwe and Baramouth, have decided not to pool the VAT money. Does that make sense to you? Does it make sense that we give up $1.5 million a month and then we go to Dr. Douglas, cap in hand, and say, we beg you something? And as soon as they finish begging him, they say, but keep it quiet. Because that is what happened the last time when they went to Parliament. And I totally agree with the federal government. Take the matter to Parliament and discuss it openly. Let everybody know. And because they decided to go to Parliament, Vance Amwe and Mark Brantley decided, no, we don't want the money. But 1 month later, they want the same money, but more this time is 5 million they want now. And next month, they will want 10 million. And I will want Douglas drop a double salary in December. Let me see where they're going to get that from. I well want that to happen. So I said to you, my people, be warned. Vance Amri said that he could see the corner. So we turn in the corner. Yes, he admitted he know people out of work. But give him another year. Good God, in a year's time, all of us dead. People who don't have work now will die from hunger. The crimes that we have will be multiplied. People already struggling and suffering. And this man who like to go away every 15 days, say give him another year. He knows an election is coming up. But Lord, give us another year. Bear with us. Bear with hope. It is time for us to get militant in the country. It is time when you meet him and he wants to hug you up. You cut up your eye on him and say, don't touch me. Do like a friend of mine who he tried to hug up in tongue, and the friend said to him, you touch me, I give you one slap. Don't make no jokes with him. Vance Amri does not like the people of Nevis. He has been able to use the people of Gingerland and the people of Nevis. He has been hanging on for dear life. It is time for you to say, you must go. He's not good for Nevis and he's not good for us. You know, I went driving yesterday to Rollins. You know, Public Works up, they're patching all kind of road full speed because the pressure is on Vance Amri. When Patsy spoke about the police station, he started to fix it. They're fixing roads in Rollins because the pressure is on. But guess what? You know what happened today? They were down Hanley's Road measuring because we said that Hanley's Road has not changed. So they're down there measuring. It is time for us to measure it way out for Vance. Exactly. Webb's ground going down by me Auntie Ione and me Auntie Dulcina. They measure that 3 times and help you fix it. We measure once and fix it. I said to you, my people, we are going to have to make sure that we keep the pressure on this worthless government. We are going to have to say to them that they have taken us for a ride long enough. And the consultation on the economy, we wanted to hear plans for the economic development of Nevis. When they had the rollout of their big blue machine that flopped on Saturday night, we wanted to hear what plans they had for Nevis. They went out and cussed all the people. You see Parry here? I don't know how he looks so good because he gets some word Saturday night to hear. You see Hector? You see how he's shining? He was not here to get the word, but people don't tell him. Hensley? Lord, poor Hensley. I don't mind when they cuss me. That don't mean a thing to me. Roll off me back. It's one thing I have like me Uncle Vance. You cuss me, no trouble me. But when you cuss he, trouble he. I said to you, my people, hold the faith. Hold the faith. This federal election must be a referendum on the weakness of the CCM. And we must make sure that we go out and vote against the CCM party and put the representatives of the Nevis Reformation Party in office. You must vote to make sure that E. Roberto Hector wins this seat and goes down to Bastille, because win some money ain't come to you yet. Mark Brantley has done nothing for the people of St. John's. Let us start to sing the Sankey so that he loses in the federal and he knows that local he would be on the run. Thank you very much. Good night.